Weed and insect control are some of the hardest parts of gardening. Perhaps we should feel some kinship with garden-loving insects for having things in common. But, nah, actually they are our competition. They are also the thieves of our hard work. What's really bad is insects have a lot of gardeners poisoning their own food. There are some organic pest repellents that are supposed to be less harmful. But good organic bug killers are chickens, ducks, and guineas. If you put adult chickens and ducks in your garden, they are liable to do more damage than the insects. But if the plants are at least a little mature, then youngsters can eat lots of pesky bugs and are not likely to harm the plants. May is when you often have plants that are mature enough that young poultry won't hurt them, but they haven't started making food yet that chicks and ducklings might take. If you can get the chicks and ducklings to bond with you, they will follow you around the garden and eat aphids, caterpillars, crickets, grasshoppers, and other pesky insects. Stink bugs are the hardest, since few things will eat them, but I've noticed some ducks will take them. Ducks are also best for eating slugs. Anytime you are out working the garden, you can have young bug eaters with you. When they start eating the garden fruits and veggies, it's time to trade them out for younger ones. Another reason tiny chicks are good, they will eat the tiny aphids off of plants. These cute little babies are some of the best for turning useless bugs into fertilizer and one day into eggs. It's raining aphids. You don't have to have them think you're their mother to let them work your garden. If your garden is fenced, you can just turn them loose and catch them later to bring them in. Just beware of hawks and other predators that might be a problem. You could use a little feed to teach them to go into a carrier or box to more easily bring them in. PVC pipes can be used to make lightweight portable pens for young poultry. I like to put these pens on the parts of the garden I haven't planted yet. I often stagger planting my crops to have a longer harvest. You may have planted the whole garden by now. But if not, then this is a good time to let baby poultry get the soil ready for you. May is usually when it's warm enough you can leave younger ones out, but it's not too hot. They will not only eat all the bugs in their area and fertilize, but might scratch up all the tiny grass and weeds, depending on how long they stay there. Please make sure they have good shelter, food, and water, and bring them in at night or when the weather gets bad. There are two ways I make these PVC pens. I use 3/4 inch PVC. With this one, I made it all one firm cage with these 3-way connectors. I have a lid to protect them from hawks. I made it about 2 feet high and used 2 feet poultry netting and just tie it on. I often use baling twine, as there is just about no end to the uses for that. It is a little time consuming, tying all the wire on the PVC pipe, but easy. I don't glue together all the connectors and pieces, so that way if a piece breaks, I can just pull it apart and replace the broken piece. So here's the cage I use as a baby poultry tractor to let the little ones prepare the soil before I'm ready to plant. You can make it whatever size you want, and might make one long and narrow to go between rows. Another way I make these is where I just have several rectangle walls and can tie them together in squares or triangles or put them against a fence. It's easier to make large pens like this, but then I can't cover them as well. If hawks are an issue, you can put netting over the top. These pens won't likely keep them safe from snakes or other predators that crawl. If you have a fruit tree orchard, I recommend keeping non-flying geese and ducks in the yard with the fruit trees. Chickens might not be a good idea during the fruiting season because they fly up in trees and eat the fruit not fallen. But non-flying waterfowl can't much hurt the trees unless you have baby trees they might step on. Geese will eat grass and weeds. They might also eat fallen fruit, which can be bad if you wanted to grab the fruit off the ground. but good because it can prevent fruit from rotting on the ground, which can spread rot back to the tree. Also, geese are territorial, and there's a chance they'll run small varmints out of your orchard. But note, raccoons are capable of killing adult geese. Ducks eat slugs, snails, caterpillars, though not always the fuzzy ones, and most any other invading insect. And both geese and ducks will spread fertilizer around the orchard. If you don't have a pond, a kiddie pool can work, and you can use the water from it for the trees. My August video offers tips for more easily using water from kiddie pools to water the garden without carrying a bunch of buckets all over the place.